It's 2025 and the game of social media is changing. And my question for you is that, are you ready for it? And if you're not, that's totally okay because I'm going to give you a number of different things that are going to help you to navigate your message so you can increase your following, you can encourage engagement, and you can connect with your audience that much more. Each platform is a little bit unique, so I'm going to dive into that at the same time, but I'm going to give you strategies that are going to help you. I'm going to share some of my own experiences that have already worked for us right now with growing our following exponentially across different platforms in just the last couple months. The first thing that we should probably talk about is the algorithm. It's a big word, right? And it's a scary term, I think, for a lot of us. But the algorithm, I want you to think about it as your business partner. The algorithm is not out to get you. The algorithm is here to work with you, and you need to work with it. And if you guys understand each other, you're going to have that much more of a natural relationship, and it's going to allow you to grow, as I already used the word, exponentially. So let's talk about it just a little bit. Now, advanced AI is tailoring content right now to an audience in a way that it never has before, and it's reading our habits so that things are that much more natural. It's that much more native in our feed to flow through things that genuinely interest us. And whether you're the content creator or you are just enjoying social media, what I want you to know is that no matter what you're clicking on your phone or your computer, it's reading it and it's intelligently filing it so that it knows who you are. And it's not to be sneaky, it's not to be creepy, but it's providing a sort of a history of what your interests are. So it can start to feed you things that you are genuinely happy to see. And whether that's sports or it's education upon a subject or it's entertainment upon this or that or whatever, it's doing its job in helping you with that feed so that, again, you stay on their platform. Now, for us as content creators, or if you're producing anything in your feed, we want to understand our audience. We want to understand what their habits are. And so using the metrics and the data that it collects for you on your audience becomes a crucial thing in order for us to continue to provide content that our audience wants to see. I mean, think about it this way. When you're watching a great show and it's a season long and there's a number of different episodes and you start to binge watch it, we want to create that with your content. So same. It's not that complicated. Just think about what captivates you, what pulls you into something. And we're going to work with the algorithm on all of this so that, again, there's a partnership and you're really delivering information and content that your audience wants to see. But there's different ways that we're going to go about it. And, the easiest way to sort of categorize this is short form and long form video. Both are key essential in 2025 to navigating your content. Think about your short form of being captivating things, striking things, things that immediately sort of pop out to your audience, and it goes to a larger pool. It may be your content that goes a little bit more viral and opening up your message to more people in general so they find out about who you are and it leads them into your content, your product, your feed, your personality, whatever it is, again, that you might be selling. Versus long form content. That's a little combination of the two right there. Long form is going to give your audience a little bit more information upon a subject. It's going to lead them through a step-by-step, kind of filling in the blanks. And again, back to what I said about binge watching content, you're really story building in long form. And we're going to talk about it in a couple minutes as well. Something you're not storyboarding in short form, you will be. But again, long form gives you that time to really knock it all out. Now, I want to share with you a couple different things that are happening with the different platforms. TikTok is really opening up the amount of time that it's suggesting that you put content together. Up to 10 minutes, which is wild to me because I've always seen TikTok as this sort of short little snippet. Like it sort of gives you the striking sort of message, striking video, and then it's done. And then you're on to the next thing. But they're flipping the script. They want more content. Matter of fact, they're saying, like I said, up to 10 minutes of video, which is wild. But the sweet spot, and this I've found in a couple different places, blogs so far and videos that I've watched on YouTube, is about 1.5 minutes. So if you can set up your vertical form video for TikTok at about 90 seconds, I think that that's about the sweet spot. But again, we're going to talk about it more as we move through it. Long form or anything past that, it gives you the real estate to sort of jump in deeper. And again, that's going to be for a specific audience of yours. And not everybody's going to want the same thing. So that's why we got to do it all. Now, Instagram Reels are still up to about 90 seconds. So that hasn't changed as much with IG. And IG, I've found, personally speaking, that anywhere between 45 seconds to 90 seconds seems to navigate, my audience into my reels with engagement and interaction and all those different things. YouTube is still restricting us for short reels, or what they call shorts, at 60 seconds. So if you've got something longer, you're probably shooting that widescreen on YouTube. For some of you watching this right now, you might be watching this wide form. It's going to be long form. You can go up to as long as you want to. I don't even know what the restrictions are when it comes to long form video for YouTube. But again, more importantly to the shorts, it's 60 seconds, short and sweet. And that's kind of where you're at. So that gives you an idea of when you're creating your storyboard and your idea and your concept in the video, how much time you've got to navigate it through. The thing I want to stabilize with this real quick is that whether it's TikTok, IG, LinkedIn, which is another great platform to be thinking about right now. Matter of fact, they say if you want to go viral, LinkedIn is your platform. So yeah, think about LinkedIn. Don't leave it out. It's a different audience. It's a little bit more of an authentic audience that wants more content in your content, more story in it, reason in it, which I love. But when you're starting to think about the different platforms, your audience is going to be different on TikTok versus Instagram versus Facebook versus LinkedIn. So maybe the same message, but how you deliver it is going to be slightly different based upon, again, the platform that you're putting it on. Think about, different channels on your YouTube TV, right? You've got NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, and you say you're watching the news. Actually, this is probably a better analogy. Say you're watching the news, you're going to get the same, something goes down, you're going to get the same idea of what has happened on all the different channels, but the way it delivers it is going to be unique based upon the audience that watches that channel. So we need to think about, okay, my message is, I'm a hairdresser, I'm producing hair content. Well, my hair content for my audience on TikTok is going to be different than LinkedIn, than Facebook, then it's going to be on IG, and whatever else for that matter. So really understand the platform. So again, you're working with the algorithm, you're working with your end user, and you're navigating the content in a way that strikes them. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about with that? Slightly longer videos are more informative videos for stronger engagement. Yeah, that's clearly true. So again, your snappy videos are going to be your short videos. Your, deeper, more entailed videos are going to be your long form videos. And that's a different audience. You're going to, as I mentioned it before, have a bigger pool with your short videos because that just reaches more people. It's quick, it's active, it's fast, and then people move on. But your real genuine audience, your audience that's going to navigate to your product over and over again, maybe even buy your product, is probably really interested in that long form video. So let's definitely not forget about them. And in that sense of connection, one of the things that we're really seeing in 2025 right now is a push for niche and private communities. So whether you're flocking in this direction towards things like Discord or Slack or Reddit, or even a private community like we've got Hairdressing Made Easy, my curriculum is called Hairdressing Made Easy. We have a free community called Hairdressing Made Easy Community. And this is where we have private conversations and very direct messaging, and it's more of an intimate environment. And so whether you are creating it through a private platform or, like I said, Reddit or Discord or Slack or something like that, yeah, we are really interested in community right now and building those communities. We found that with 2024 research and 23 research that we're sort of losing that personal connection and that safe space to ask questions without being judged, or people jumping down your throat about something that they don't feel is a compliment to their interest. And so again, our communities allow us to sort of funnel in our message to an audience that's very specifically driven by what it is that you offer as a product. So yeah, just to think about it, these are probably not your places that you're going to go viral on. But again, this is where you can really start to navigate connection, community, a building of relationships. And let's see what else we've got here in communities. All right, I think that's about it. So this is something that I am sort of learning a lot about right now. I guess what I'm saying is generative AI and authenticity with it is something that I think we're learning about right now. It's all new, right? We're sort of in this beta run in humanity of AI and the usage and implementation of it. But the algorithms themselves using AI are getting really intelligent to it, and they're staying on the front end of it. And so where I'm going with this is that if you're building content with only AI and you're using it to help you think of ideas and descriptions and captions, and it's writing it for you, there's a lack of authenticity that's coming across, and our audience is starting to identify AI written content. So use it as your superpower. Use it for a PA. Use it for, a bot in every sense of the way. But remember, I said it earlier, be authentic with it. So, put it into your words. I've got, if you haven't seen me looking down, I've got a script down below me, and I actually had AI help me write this and outline it. And then I went back into it and I rewrote it. So it was in my language. Matter of fact, I've got bullet points there and it's all short scripts to the message that I want to get across in this video, but I'm delivering it without reading a script. And so again, it's the same thing with our posts. Don't just copy and paste things into your post because your audience knows that you're not authentic. And one of the things that's truly happening in 2025 is genuine connection. We're really looking to figure out who you are so that we can know who we're loving and loving to follow and binge watching your content because you're unapologetically authentic. That's a good way to say it. So yeah, stand out, step out from it, use it as a partner, again, kind of like the algorithm in general, but put yourself into it, take from it and drive it in your way. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and this is huge, and I think all of you guys are definitely going to want to take notes. This is a big one. Increasing your following. Big one, right? So there's a lot of different ways to go about it, but this is, again, what I've started to rifle through and figure out for 2025. And like before, there are parallels to it. Like before, the number one thing that you need to be is consistent with it. Don't, post today and then not again for a month, and then post like 3 the next day after that, and then not again for 3 weeks, and then 2 more, and, only this form of video and not that form of video. Understand what you can put together in regards to consistency. So your followers know this regular pattern of when your product's coming out. Right now, we're at a point where we only post once a day to any of our platforms, but we're posting between 5 to 7 days a week. So we sometimes lay off on Sunday, but Monday through Saturday is pretty much consistent right now. And if you've been following my content, you've seen it. We have a heavy push towards that. And they have content calendars right now. There's different apps. If I can find something, I'll throw it down in the comments as well, so it leads you to just an easier chase. But there are content calendars that help you navigate your posts. So if you are the proactive Pat or Patty out there, this is something that you can use to help you start to find consistency in your posting. And and you can stay up with it so your audience knows where to find you, how to find you, and when you're going to be putting new things out. I say that, and at the same time, I want us to pause for a second, because quality over quantity every single time. I want you to really think about who you are, what your product is, and what you're going to be putting out to your audience, because let's be realistic with your calendar. If you don't have enough content, don't just post things to post things. Post things with a purpose behind it so that your audience is engaged by it, or engaged from it, I should say, and compelled to act upon it. So yeah, once again, let's just, let's be consistent with it, but figure out what you can do in a realistic sense. And I know for a lot of us, we see social media as a sense of responsibility. At the end of it, we'd rather just sort of scroll through our thread than actually, post or contribute to it. So, yeah, be authentic with it. I think that you'll find that the comments in your post, if you've got genuine content, is more genuine feedback as well, and higher level engagement. And it's not just kind of crazy trolling for what it's worth in your content. The last thing I want to say about this is quality hashtags, I think, are a big thing. And what I'm seeing right now with the algorithms is less hashtags, but more relevant hashtags so your viewers know how to find your content, or potentially even new viewers as well. So, I remember back in the day with IG and Facebook, we used to throw in like 20, 30 hashtags and try to just like spread this message as much as possible. But the algorithm, as much as it's sophisticated, it really is trying to figure out niche marketplaces to push your content. And if you've got 25 different hashtags and it's realizing that the person that might be interested in this hashtag isn't interested in the other hashtags, it's probably not going to push your content into their world, because it's trying to figure out somebody that fits into all these different keywords and terms in the sense of searchability. So, 3 to 5 hashtags I find right now are consistent with the suggestion of most social platforms. So yeah, for what it's worth, yeah, check that out. 3 to 5, make it big. This is someplace where, or sometimes when I'll use AI too, and I'll say, hey, look, based upon this content of what this post is about, what are the most searched hashtags about this subject matter? And keep it general, but at the same time relevant to what you're actually posting. So let's just say, for instance, I'm going to be posting a haircut video. I want to post haircut as a hashtag. I might post if that hair, or I might use the hashtag, say, graduated bob, if that haircut is a graduated bob. If I'm doing a pixie, I'm probably not going to use that hashtag. So general ones, but then specific ones as well that are relevant to, what it is. Yeah. And I was thinking I was done with the message of how to increase your following, but I want to get into this. I put this into a different thing, but I'm going to combine it into what we're talking about right now. And it's about cross-pollination. It's about cross-promotion and collaborating with others so that you can use each other's audiences to help to build a network. And again, the word community, build a community from it. And the great thing about it is, if it's interesting to listen to one person, it's probably interesting to listen to a friend of theirs as well that has similar subject matter to contribute towards the conversation. I can be a decent storyteller. I can share a good amount of content, but that doesn't mean if I didn't have a partner here that we couldn't even give you more. So yeah, think about that. The whole thing of live streams right now is massive and a huge push from all platforms, TikTok especially. TikTok wants you to be live. And that's something personally that I hope you're going to see from me, because putting this best practice into play is something that I really need to focus on. I don't do lives very much. And in 2025, that's going to be a goal of mine, is to, maybe that's my New Year's resolution, a goal of mine to push more into a live stream marketplace. I'm also going to be working with my communities to do lives just for my communities as well. And if you're not a subscriber to Instagram, definitely jump into that subscription as well, because this is where I'm going to be nestling in quality content for that community with live streams. And so my audience can ask me questions. So yeah, definitely stay on top of that. If I'm just trying to see if there's anything else in here. Oh, this is a good one. Stay on top of new features. This is something that I personally love. And I think some of us would rather punch ourselves in the nose than do this, because I just feel like I've learned that some of us are early adopters, and some of us are late adopters of quality, or not quality, I'm trying to be PC about saying this so I don't offend anybody. I think some of us really geek out on beta launches and new launches when it comes to technology and constantly into the updates. And some of us are like, no, I'm comfortable. Like, it already works for me right now. I don't want to change it because then I got to relearn all this other stuff again. The algorithm is really going to be your partner, is really going to be your friend if you start to use the new things that it's putting out. So if there's new features in the way you edit your video or new closed captions or whatever, use them. The algorithm's going, hey, look, this person is relevant with our social site. And so we want to push them out because this is something that we're trying to influence our overall audience with. So this is a good partner for us. So definitely think about that as an overall when, again, you're trying to build your followers, because it's not just about the content that you're providing and building. It's about, again, partnering with these different social platforms so that you can push out the best possible thing and be completely relevant with what's going on. Hence this being about what's happening in 2025 with social media. Now, if you haven't already subscribed, definitely hit that subscription button. If you're on YouTube watching this right now, definitely follow us, hit the YouTube button, give us a thumbs up, and throw down in the comments other videos that you'd like to see about this. In any one of these things that I'm saying, if you'd like to see more content specifically on that topic, I'm happy to create that video content. Just throw it down in the comments, and I'd love to hear from you. And I'd love to build more stuff like this, because this is stuff, again, that clearly I love, I geek out on. So yeah, jump in there. Now, here's something I think that's going to help all of us. This is about creating more engaging content. And I have a lot of friends that reach out and they're like, I just can't think of anything to do, and I don't know what to say, and blah, 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 blah. I think sometimes if we have framework, it allows us to fill in the blanks. If I've got already sort of the pans itself, I just got to pour the sauce into it. And what we're going to talk about right now is the architecture, and then you put the creative into it. You throw the sauce into it. I like that. Analogy is kind of funny, but good. Yeah, so the framework that we want to think about is, and I'm sure you probably already know this, so sorry for the redundancy, but within the first 3 to 5 seconds, you want a really impactful hook. Our fingers move quick across one picture to the next picture to the next picture. So a strong hook is definitely going to engage your audience, make it compelling, make them jump in. I used it in this video. If you didn't catch it, definitely go back and watch this video again. Yeah, your hook is everything. And I want you to think about your hook as in something that it's not like it's shocking, but in a positive way, right? So, let's just take, this video right now. What's happening in 2025 with social media? Are you ready for it? That you're like, oh God, I don't know if I am, right? So I want to watch a video to make sure that I'm ready for it. So that first 3 to 5 seconds is a strong hook. You can even add on to it an anti-hook, which was kind of the second part. Are you ready for it? Things like that are super engaging and compel your audience to stop and listen. The other thing I want to say about your great hook is, as you start to get into your storytelling and the body of whatever your message is it's got to come true, right? I don't want to say, be relevant with haircutting, and then I talk about social media the whole time, or vice versa. So yeah, make sure that your hook is compelling. Use ChatGPT, use other AI to help you create good hooks, and then just re-script them. You're like, oh, that's a great idea. Now, and then put it into your language. So, yeah, do that. Make it short too. It's, usually a one-liner. I would say up to 7 words max is probably good. And just keep it intriguing, make it engaging, make it impactful. Actually, make it shocking, but not like freaky, right? Or make it freaky. I don't know. But I'd say anything that impacts our audience is probably a good thing. The other thing I want you to think about for the front end of your video is an immediate text overlay or picture overlay, video overlay, what we call picture in picture. But a text overlay in the very beginning. This is something that my good buddy Ryan who runs Edit Butter. He helps me with a lot of my ideas. He helps me a lot with my editing. He is phenomenal with this, and this is something that he does for our videos all the time. He's got the closed captions in one part of the video, but then up above that, he'll actually add, something captivating that is talking about, what the video is about. So it grabs your attention. Maybe it actually helps you to knock your video or your volume up or the audio on. So that's something to think about as well. And then, of course, be good at storytelling. This is something that I think some of us are natural with, some of us aren't. I would encourage you to watch videos on storytelling and understand what the key components are that make something engaging, or really start to pay attention to what you're watching on television or what you're seeing, on other people's feed that is engaging to you. And you're like, my gosh, they're so good at saying that and bringing me into it. Just start to break it down. I think what you'll probably start to find is that there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. And a lot of times there's a call to action at the end, right? So you got your hook on the front end, potentially an anti-hook, which is going to be your beginning, or maybe that leads you to the beginning of your story. And then you're going to have all the guts of it, the real sort of meat in the whole message itself. And then you're going to have a closing to it, and hopefully a call to action, something that allows your audience to act upon it. We want to keep people engaging in our work as much as possible. And that interaction, I think, is awesome. So, let me think of something real quick. One of the things that I like to share at all times with any of my videos and my storytelling is a personal story, something that gives me a sense of expertise upon the subject. So potentially even in that, something where I may have messed up. I had a failure in it, but then there was an epiphany and there was a dawning, something that led me to like the whole point of why I'm driving that message. I think that that's worked for me quite well in the past. Something that takes my user on a journey. So start at one point and I bring you through this whole thing. And then at the end, I have a sort of a soft landing that takes you right into, as I mentioned before, a call to action. So, if you like this video, please comment down below if you have any ideas. I'm really curious to hear what what your ideas are. If you've had an experience like this before, what was it? Tell me more about it. Something that drives them to start to write into your comments. And then, of course, we want to respond to as many comments as we can. I've had a couple videos lately that have put me into a few 100,000 views, over a couple million views, and I've had thousands of comments. And to be honest, it's a little bit hard to get back to all of them. And certainly for the ones that are in the couple million with almost 2,000 comments. But as much as I can, I try to comment as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. And the algorithm really wants you to do that. So if people are dropping comments in there, don't try to jump back into it, a month later. You got to sort of, while it's sizzling and while it's hot, you got to interact with your audience, and your social platform is going to go, hey, look, this person's engaging with their audience. This is keeping the audience on the platform. This is keeping the creator on the platform. And there's a harmonious sort of network that's starting to develop there. And again, the platforms really like that. So definitely stay up on it. Short and long clips. I know we kind of talked about this before. Your short clips are going to be about 15 seconds to 30 seconds with quick engagement. And it's not to say that you shouldn't have storytelling in it. It's just got to be short and sweet. So cut through the chase. This is something to I think about as well. I've used GPT to help me create ad campaigns. And I said, okay, give me, this is my topic. Give me a minute and a half version of this. Give me a 15-second version of this. So it's sort of clip notes. It condenses the overall message, just thinking about the key points, but it's still keeping the story in it and the whole message in it. So definitely something to think about. I talked about it with TikTok. Your sweet spot with long form video is going to be about a minute and a half, but anywhere up to like 3 minutes, I think we have a tolerance for. And then in your communities, potentially that's where you've got longer videos, like where you're watching this right now. So yeah, something to think about. And that's just where your long form, again, is where you dive deeper into things. This is potentially where your thorough tutorials are, potentially even behind the scenes, stuff. We love to know how somebody gets to an end result, and getting that uncut storytelling of BTS behind the scenes is massive. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is interactivity. And this has everything with encouraging your viewers to comment more. I talked about call to action. We want comments. The social platforms want comments. So encouraging them to, answer questions, share their opinion is massive. And the algorithm is going to be your bestie if you jump into this technique. So back to storytelling of beginning, middle, and end. This is kind of your ending, what we call a CTA, which is your call to action. You want to have something that captivates your audience enough that encourages them to participate in it. And this is an exchange, right? There's no connection if there's no connection, right? It's a one-way street if there's no sort of back and forth. So definitely encourage your audience to do it. We talked about this as well, about our live occasional, videos. This is something that I'm going to be working on for 2025, and I want to see your live videos as well. And if you're producing content similar to mine, let's do a collaboration. I'd love to share my audience. I'd love to take anything that you have to offer as far as your expertise and use that for my audience. So yeah, let's collaborate. Definitely put that in there. If you haven't already subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe. We are going to be building so much fun stuff like this in 2025. I'm so excited about it. It's already working. All these things that I'm telling you right now are already going into action, and we're seeing reaction from it. I think on IG right now, we built over 8,000 new followers in the last week and a half, which is crazy for us, just using these formulas. And none of it's complicated. It just takes organization. Is that a real word? Organization? Yeah, organization is, but I don't think I used it right. It just takes staying organized. Yeah, for what it's worth. Now, this is something that I can geek out on as well. And P.S., thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for being part of our community. And if you want to jump deeper into our communities, definitely hop on our website of Hairdressing Made Easy or Travis Parker Academy. And our community is free, and we'd love to hear from you. We'd love for you to be part of it. We'd love to have you jump in. This is probably a straightforward thing, but I want to talk about a couple of technical things that our algorithms really like, and they are reading this, and so be aware of it. You want to have good lighting, you want to have good video, and you want to have good audio. Now, most algorithms, anything recorded under 1080p is really going to smash it down and not promote it out. So anything that's 1080 or you're putting it in at 4K, algorithm is going to love you for it. It wants quality video. Quality audio is huge as well. I've got a GGA mic on here to record this on my phone in vertical format. And then we've got a Shure mic right here for our long form video that we're recording right now at the same time. And, I hope that as you're listening to this, my voice is clear. My lighting is decent in here right now. This is something I need to work on. Right now, to be completely transparent, I'm in my living room. I'm not. My living room's right over here. I'm in my dining room, and I've got one light in front of me, and I've got all the lights around me in the house on. But I do want to get a couple more lights in my film studio at the Academy. I've got great lighting, but that's not where I'm at right now. So yeah, something that we definitely want to think about as well, because the quality of your video will come across a lot better, obviously, if you've got decent lighting, and it doesn't have to be expensive. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more about what type of lighting to buy, what mics to buy, what video cams to buy, definitely throw it down in the comments, and I'm happy to share with you all the learns that I've had. And I've had a lot of learns. I've definitely bought stuff where I'm like, oh, well, that blows. It didn't work at all, or in the way that I wanted it to. So I ended up selling it and buying different stuff. And I'm happy to share with you basically what the right stuff is that's working for me right now. All right, cool. This is our last thing that I'm going to be getting into. And this is diving deeper into the relationship with your audience. Two-way communication is in the comments. This is your DMs. I'm going to say this is probably our wrap up right now. Communicate with your comments or your audience as much as possible. They want to hear from you. The algorithms want to know that you guys are talking to each other. algorithm loves you for doing it, to be honest. So definitely ask people to make comments, ask for feedback on your post, read the data on that, read the comments on that, make changes. And this is something that I've done outside of this, but really sort of in the same realm of it. I have asked ChatGPT what are commonly searched videos right now on YouTube, what are commonly searched videos on Instagram and TikTok, and I've used different AI I've used AI period to help me understand what's popping right now. With YouTube, I use an AI software called vidIQ. It's a subscription that I have, and it gives me all the trending keywords. It gives me all the trending topics. And then I use that to begin a new video. So I find out what's kind of going on and people are interested in, and then I build a video off of that. So off script, that's something, hopefully that will help you as well. Behind the scenes access has everything to do with our communities that we had talked about, giving people access to the raw, the uncut. We want to sort of see what's happening behind the scenes because we want to make sure there's a couple things that go on. There's psychology that happens in this, right? We want to make sure that, we understand, what is happening in order to produce all of this. We want to know that it's a process for everyone else, that we're not alone. Why is it so hard for me and not for anybody else? Well, it's hard for everybody, to be honest. And it takes a lot of work to produce a video, even as simple and straightforward as this is. There's a lot of research that goes in it. And that is a helpful thing, I think, for our psyche to know that all of us have to, spend some time behind the scenes to kind of get ourselves organized so we've got something to genuinely share. And offer those sneak peeks. That's something that, again, I think we can geek out on. And we, just, hey, make the popcorn. I want to watch this. This is great. Yeah. And then, for your communities, one of the subscription things that I offer for Instagram is sneak peeks on things. So things that I'm working on that I haven't launched yet, my subscribers in Instagram are seeing it first. And I love that I have this audience that I get to share it with. It also gives me feedback on whether they're interested in it or not, or whether the greater pool of people are going to be interested in it or not. And I think that that's a really great thing. So in the respect of communities, definitely use our community sites that we have out there. Like I said, Reddit, Slack, other different platforms out there, Discord, or build your own private community so that you can nestle into good conversations, quality conversations, and just as important, safe spaces for everybody. So yeah, it's a big thing. This is something I haven't talked about yet, and I want to share it with you because I spend a ton of time on it, and it's about communications offsite. So this isn't necessarily an algorithm conversation, but in 2025, what we're really needing to focus on, as well as emails, and I just said that word, emails, is our emails and our communications with emails, what they call CRM. And emails are all about how I'm communicating with my audience when it's not social media. So that communication's a lot more intimate. If I'm running specials or deals on, say, a new video that I produced or a class that I have, this is a place where I can offer this to my audience quickly and consistently. It's a constant messaging that, again, that's offsite, that's specifically nestled into this community-based relationship. So, I think it's just one more way for me to connect more directly. And I love it. I use a software called Active Campaign. MailChimp is a good one. It's a lot more basic. Active Campaign is really, actually, to be quite honest, quite complicated. It's all about automations and segmentations and email funnels and cold emails versus warm emails versus hot emails. And it's it's a lot, but it's amazing. We also use it in our place of lead magnets. And so, what leads our audience to a certain interest, and then how do we feed them based upon that interest? And that drops them into a funnel of emails, and one comes out, today, and one maybe 3 days later or a week later, on and on and on, and curates this journey for the audience to learn more about our products through direct communications specific to their interests, which, is all legit and good. Consistency in brand and personality. I love this. And this is something that I've been practicing since the beginning of hairdressing is, being authentic and really understanding who I am as an individual, understanding who my brand, what my brand is, and how do I connect with my audience, with this unique style of what makes us different. I said it earlier, and I love saying this, unapologetically authentic. Be yourself. We want to know who you are. And if you feel like saying a cuss word, say a cuss word. If you mess up, then mess up. We want to know that this is real. You're a real person. And that in 2025, I would put in big all caps, be genuine. We are sick of the bullshit of marketing. We don't want it anymore. Our audience doesn't want it anymore. So as a content creator and building your following, be genuine, be who you are. If you're uncomfortable speaking in front of a camera, and I am guilty of it, I have been uncomfortable in front of a camera forever, but I've practiced my ass off at getting in front of a camera and being myself. This is something that's going to take practice. So I want you to understand that it's a journey that you're on. We're looking at this as sort of a big picture project, and it's going to have chapters within it all that lead you to an end result that is the person that you want to be in the place that you want to be at. So again, unapologetically authentic, unapologetically authentic. Say it 3 times right now. Unapologetically authentic, unapologetically authentic. I want to see who you are. Our audience wants to know who you are. At the same time, you become relatable with that. So, share stories as you're being genuine. I think a lot of times if I'm sharing a personal story versus a script, it's easier for me just to be genuine. So, yeah, for what it's worth, it helps you to, just relax a little bit and chill out a little bit. And again, that's who we want to see. And tell us about your challenges. I already talked about it earlier, but, my, you know, my wisdom has come from my application, as in, every obstacle I've ever had to climb over, every one that I've fallen off of, have become part of my story. And that's what's led me to the place that I'm at 36 years into the industry, over 20 years as an educator, developing my own content curriculum of Hairdressing Made Easy that teaches the process of haircutting in a more simplified, modified way that's relevant to an audience of 2025 right now. All of that's come from trial and error, and that's where we're at. Long-term engagement. Create a series of ongoing themes so that, oh yeah, this is good. So, another thing to think about with your short form or your long form, create a theme to it. Have a series involved. We have a thing called Hairdresser Reacts. There are a lot of my reaction videos, and it's called remixes on Instagram. It's called reaction in other places. It's called duets on TikTok. But this is a video that somebody else has done, and I'm doing a reaction to it. It's a series that we call Hairdresser Breakdown. And yeah, it's great. We got a whole thing on YouTube about it. And it's beautiful. It's something that people consistently come back to. They know what it is. People love it. It's funny. It's genuine. It's short and sweet. Personally, I really enjoy doing them because I'm cracking up. I don't watch the videos before I actually react to them because I want it to be authentic. I can't fake authentic. So yeah, I want it to be authentic. And yeah, it leads people to our next episode, assuming, again, we have a schedule. And that's something that I believe in upkeeping. I have a sense of responsibility to it. Oh, this is a good one too. Yeah, so user-generated content such as challenges, fan art, competitions. This is something that we periodically do. It's something I want to jump more into in 2025. So my followers are that much more engaged. And what I'm trying to think about is how do I expand upon the community? And these are all the different ways that we've talked about growing in 2025. But this is one more way for us to put all of this into action. Yeah, I would say that's about it. So in my closing words, I want you to stay flexible, be current, stay relevant. If you're not relevant, your audience is going to find somebody that is. And so it's your job and your role, if your goal is to be part of 2025 with social media and building your brand. So yeah, just commit to it. It's okay. And what I want you to really think about as well is your short form and your long form videos both have to happen. Building series within them is crucial and essential. So, think about it, write a sort of I wouldn't say a business plan, but, write it down and build a, group of friends that you can sort of run it by. Hit me up. I'm always here to support you. And be like, Trav, is this something that's cool? What do you think about it? I'm always down to give you my honest opinion. Yeah. And, just lean into it. Just be strong and be committed and believe in yourself and understand that you're going to make mistakes. That's part of the BTS stuff that we were talking about. People want to know that you're not perfect because no one is. And yet we see all this fluff and shininess with final product, but none of that is real. It's, this is real right now. This is all done in one cut. And you've seen me read things, you've seen me use words, but it's genuine. And I want to make sure that you're getting the raw version of it and me and all those things. And I would say the last thing is, just use AI as your superpower, but use it wisely. Don't just copy and paste it. That's not authentic. We know what it's starting to sound like. It all sort of reads the same. And if we all had the same copyists writing the same script, it would legit be the most boring thing to read because everyone would be doing it. So use it to help you formulate your ideas, to give you new ideas, to sort of frame what it is that you're going to talk about, or I should not say outframe, to frame what you're going to be talking about. But that's it. Yeah. And then take it from there and make it your own. Make it super personalized. Yeah, focusing on what your product is, who you are. Don't sell me anything. Just tell me who you are, because if you're cool and you've got good insight, I'm going to look a little bit deeper and probably buy your product because you're not trying to sell it to me. So if you notice, I don't ever try to sell my classes straightforward. 99% of my content is really just talking about hairdressing, at my level of expert. Yeah, that's it. So my friends, thanks so much for watching. 2025 is going to be a banging year for social media. I'm so excited about the algorithms right now. They are working with us. It's not against us. If your work is not out there doing well, just stay with it. You're not being shadow banned. No one's out to get you. It's just your content needs the maturity, and you're not going to know how to mature it if you don't start it. So just get started, put it out. No one's here to make fun of you. We're all here to love you and support you. If you are in communities where people are trolling you and being bad, hide them, ban them, whatever. I got your back. Stick with me. And again, if you haven't already hit that subscription button, please do. I'm so anxious to talk with you more. I'm so anxious to see your growth and how you take this information and put it into action. And I want to be part of that journey. So definitely throw it in the comments where you're at right now, how you're going to use this. Definitely stay in contact, DM me, and let me know what's happened in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months, a year. I'd love to be part of your journey. Thank you so much, my friends. Stay well. Happy New Year, 2025. Let's go. We got this. I'll see you at the top.